sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. No checkered flag, no champagne rain, but I kept it clean through the carnage and pain. One more lap, one more breath, a dance with danger, a race with death. Still I thread the needle, feel the flame. Every turn's a twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, out of chaos into light. No first place, but man, I ride with fire still burning inside. Yeah, I thread the needle in this wild racing ride. Strapped in tight, green lights flashing, rubbers burning, hearts are clashing, tires screaming that southern heat. 200 strong on the NASCAR beat. Lap 5 wreck on turn 4. Smoke so thick can't see the door, but somehow I slip right through like a ghost in red, white, and blue. 'Cause I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. No checkered flag, no champagne rain, but I kept it clean through the carnage and pain. One more lap, one more breath, a dance with danger, a race with death. Still I thread the needle, feel the flame. Every turn's a twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another amazing night here at the Free Time Racing League, where these drivers in the truck series will tackle Las Vegas. Tonight, I'm going to be your host, sitting in for John Ross. I go by the name of Brandon Massey. Up alongside me in the commentary booth tonight, it's going to be Russ Martin Jr. How we doing, Russ?
Hey, man, we're ready to get this thing rocking. These guys are looking to get this playoff started here tonight. We got a 2-race playoff format. Top 6 guys from tonight move on to the championship race next week, and the top guy next week is going to bring home a championship.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you talked about that, Russ, because right now I'm taking a look at the points, and the standings is currently RP2 qualifier, goes by the name of Josh Lambert. Well, when I take a look at this points right now and what I've been able to gather by the series here, Russ, Josh has been nothing shy of dominant throughout this entire season.
Absolutely. I mean, Josh has been the man to beat almost each and every week here. He's had, a couple of weeks of bad luck throughout the season, but yeah, Josh in that number 90 truck has been the guy that everybody's been chasing so far here this year. I mean, we've got Josh and Chris, or Josh, Chris, Rob, and Brandon are the only 4 drivers with a win here so far this season. So, I mean, we've got the rest of these guys that are battling for this championship, trying to, get themselves up there to try to get this thing taken care of.
Yeah, and what a battle that it's going to be over the next 2 races. And again, you touched on it. It's going to be tonight and again next week, where you and John Ross will call the champion to the series. I want to take a look real quick, though, at the race info for here tonight, because right now it's a relatively, what I would say, cooler weather for Las Vegas. Right now, the weather outside shows 68 degrees, 79% relative humidity. But Russ, what surprises me is that 109-degree track temperature.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing about Vegas here is, usually that track temp is pretty well north of 100, but I mean, it's still north of 100, but not quite as far as we're used to seeing it. I mean, I've seen the track temp here at Vegas get up to 120, 125. So, I mean, a 109 is not too awful bad here for Vegas, but still a little bit warm, which means these trucks are going to get a little bit slick and loose off corner exit if they get on the throttle a little bit too soon.
And they will exactly do that. And that's what's going to make tonight a lot of fun, especially for me and you, I believe, because right now these trucks should be able to carry a lot of momentum, a lot of corner speed, a lot of exit speed. This is going to be a momentum style. I would think, in my opinion, Russ, a more momentum style of a race, right? You don't want to lose momentum. You don't want to scrub off tires, but it's all going to be about the momentum on entry, center, exit to be able to set up these straightaways, especially in these trucks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in Vegas here, I mean, you've definitely got multiple grooves that you could run. You could run the bottom, you could run the middle, you could run the top even, and still get the speed here. But I mean, I think the big thing here for tonight, with especially this track here, is that pit road entry. I mean, we know that these guys are going to have to make multiple pit stops here all throughout the night. Probably 3 to 4 stops tonight because they're only running on a 40% fuel load. So, I mean, getting on to pit road is going to be one of the more crucial things here tonight, because with that little bit of a higher track temp, it can make that pit entry really slick. And if you get on those binders a little bit too much, very easy to loop this thing coming onto pit road. So, I mean, pit road, these pit stops are going to be paramount to a successful night here tonight in Vegas.
Yeah, so we're going to want to keep an eye on our championship contenders to see how well they get on, off pit road. That's going to be an item of conversation that we'll have throughout the night. And again, that 40% fuel load. So 40% fuel load, I'm not sure how many sets of tires these drivers are going to have in the pits. It's been allotted by free time, and Russ, you may know, but I would say that provided if you get enough tires, you might as well take a set every single time you hit pit road.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing with these guys here is they definitely like to work the strategy. I mean, they've got basically 2 sets off of pit road. You get you got 3 sets total here. So, I mean, we've got 100 laps. If you're going to have to make 3 or 4 pit stops, it's going to kind of be one of those, maybe every other pit stop of taking tires. So they've got 3 sets total, 2 over the wall. So tire management definitely going to be a factor here tonight as well.
Absolutely. And tire management always seems to be a key when it comes to these mile and a halves, especially with the trucks. The trucks have, I feel like personally, they've gotten a little bit freer just based on some of the updates that we've had here on iRacing, and they've become a lot more fun to run. We do know now qualifying is over, and right now it's kind of a shock at the top of the qualifying board, Bruss.
Yeah, we got Bryant Nagel. I'm going to put this thing on the pole here in the 458 with a qualifying time of 30.583, out qualifying that dominator that we've had all season long, of Josh Lambert in the 90s, going to qualify P2. Joseph Phelps is going to start P3. Martin Henry in P4. Brandon Cowell, one of those other playoff drivers, he's going to be starting there in P5. Leroy Koblenz is going to start in P6. John Gardner is going to roll off in P7. Jacob Nagel in P8 there. Richard Modric, another playoff driver, in 9th. Matt Morrison, this is going to be one of these guys that we have to watch, I feel like, throughout these next few races, because he has showed a lot of speed in the last couple of races, has been up front. We might be looking at that here again tonight, but Matt's going to roll off in P10 there in that number 6. Then we've got Chris going to roll off in P11, Zach in 12th, Thomas Ridgway is going to roll off in 13th, Mary Acker in 14th, and Mike Ziegler is going to roll off in 15th.
Yeah, and starting in the 16th position is going to be Tim Johns in the 32. Charlie Stutzman's going to roll off P17. Clyde Kuffner is going to roll off 18th. John Gardner Sr. is going to roll off 19th. Juan Valles is going to roll off 20th. Randy Coyer is going to roll off 21st. Ryan Lang 22nd. Chris Melton 23rd. Shannon Ogle 24th. That will be your qualifying lineup for here tonight. As these drivers, Russ, they're now here's the thing, right? So question, when you know it's playoff time, you've only got 2 races, right? What's the nerves like when you when you climb into the sim rig and you're sitting here on the starting grid like these drivers are right now? What's the nerves like?
I mean, they're definitely ramped up just a little bit, only because this format of the playoffs is just a little bit different than most of the formats of the playoffs. Most of them, they kind of follow the NASCAR style of format, which these guys do in some sense. But, normally it's, 3 races and then you cut so many, and then it's another couple of races and you cut so many. This is like the championship race 2 times, because it's literally the top 6 the top 6 finishers from the playoffs tonight are going to be the ones that are going to be fighting for the championship next week, and then the top finisher of those 6 drivers is going to be the one to win the championship. So really, I mean, we've got these 12 drivers. We've got Lambert, we've got Melton, Chappell, Cowell, Tucker, Modric, Kane Logsden, Phelps, Charlie Stutzman, Tim Johns, Matt Morrison, Mike Ziegler. These guys, any one of these guys can become the champion, even though we've had that dominance all season long from Josh Lambert. All it takes is one bad race from any of these guys, and it could take them out of contention. So this playoff format makes it just a little bit more nerve-wracking than what it normally could be.
And it will be nerve-wracking, as we do have 100 laps here tonight. The lights is going to be off on the yep, there he goes. He's going to make that sharp left-hander, Russ. We're going to be getting this race under green right now. Nagel's going to lead him down. Lambert beside him, and the green flags is out here at Free Time Racing, live from the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Drag race down the front stretch coming into turn 1 with these front 2 guys.
Right now, the 458 will get a little bit of an edge. Right now, Lambert's not going to give him much room. You got the 45 of Henry. Phelps right behind him. The run's going to be outside for Lambert with the 45 of Henry.
Yeah, Lambert holding strong on that outside right now. That 458's down there on the bottom, trying to get this thing by the 90 and get him cleared, but just not able to do it. 90 holding strong on the outside. 458 is going to lead the lap 1.
458 Nagel will lead lap 1 right now. The pressure still is being put on by Lambert, Henry, Phelps company. 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. Brandon Cowell is running in the 5th position with the 161 of what will be Leroy Koblenz right behind him. And I'm sorry I butchered that name, but Russ, right now, your boy, fan favorite, Leroy's P6.
Yeah, Leroy's been here a couple times with us, and he's had some pretty strong showings. I mean, we know Leroy very well. Part of our little team here, and we always you know, we try to be unbiased, but anytime we see Leroy, we're kind of silently rooting for him to do well just because he's a team member. But man, Leroy's been doing really well here any time that he's been running here with these guys. But we got another battle up front here for the lead. Lambert looking to the outside again of the 458, going into turn 3 here, trying to take a peek for this lead here.
Yeah, he's trying to peak. He did lead the last lap number 2. Right now, momentum might allow him to lead lap 3, and in fact, it will. So you got Lambert, Nagel, Henry, Phelps, Cow. That's 1 through 5. Right now, this battle still rages on as they enter turn 1.
Yeah, 458 still down there on the bottom. And Lambert up there on the top, trying to hold strong. Trying to get just some kind of a run off that corner exit where he can clear that 458. He's got about a half a truck in front of him going into turn 3 here, but still not quite able to get that 458 cleared.
Now, right now, the thing that would concern me if I was Nagel in the 458 is just exactly how much tire I'm using up running that bottom, not being able to get off the exits the way I want to. In fact, Lambert will clear going into turn 1, Lambert to the top.
Yeah, 458 probably figured it's probably about time to back off just a little bit, go ahead and let him go and try to save some tire. Like I said, these guys only have 2 sets over the wall, so tire management a big thing, especially on this warmer Vegas track here.
So right now, I'm back here with Matt Morrison. We got Leroy. We got Jacob Nagel back here in the 48. This battle, almost 3 wide. Russ, not quite, but right now, the guy on the move is going to be Matt Morrison. He's up 3 spots from his starting position, now 4.
Yeah, Matt Morrison there in that 6. He's been showing a lot of speed here in the recent weeks. I mean, been having some really good runs. As now the 48 is going to go 3 wide going into 3 here.
Yeah, 3 wide into 3. You see the 61, a little bit of a bobble, is going to get out of that situation. We're only 6 laps in. No reason to put yourself in a position to where that could ultimately end your race. But right now, that's going to allow the 6 of Morrison to claim the 6th position single file. The battle is going to rage on, though, between the 48 and 53. That's going to be Nagel and Gardner.
Yeah, 61 there. Leroy had a little bit of a bobble there when they went 3 wide, and he was able to get the 53 there by him too. But like I was saying earlier, that 6 truck there, Matt Morrison, I mean, he showed a lot of speed over the last few weeks, put together some really solid runs. I mean, we thought he was going to win at least one of the last couple of 2 races, not quite able to get it done in the long run, but still some very strong showings out of that 6 truck, and he's definitely looking to make his mark in these 2 races for the playoffs here.
Yeah, I'm going to go back a little bit further from the 6th position, Matt Morrison. I'm actually back at 13th with Zach Tucker right now. Zach Tucker is side by side with the 32 of Tim Johns. They're 2 by 2 back here, Russ. This battle's raging on a little bit further back into the field, but some good racing we have nonetheless, 9 laps in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys, you know, when we first started broadcasting Free Time, you know, they were kind of, I guess you want to say maybe a little antsy on these starts. I mean, we would, you know, have a couple of cautions, you know, within the first 20 or so laps. And over the last few races, they've kind of really put it together where, you know, it's okay, let's start these races and log laps, be a little bit more settled in, I guess, and log some laps as this race starts, and then try to start battling towards the middle to end of the race. But a couple of these guys, they're not wanting to do that. We got some side-by-side action going on all the way around this track right now.
Right, there is side-by-side action everywhere that we look here, Russ. And right now, I've got to tell you though, race fans, right now the guy that's going in the wrong direction is going to be your boy Leroy. He's actually fallen 7 positions. He's back here amongst all these guys that's been racing 2 by 2 by 2 for about the last 2.5, 3 laps.
I'm not sure. Maybe he's just doing a little bit of tire saving or fuel saving or something. But you know, Leroy's just out here to have a lot of, you know, just to have fun. You know, he tries not to get into anybody's way, especially now he knows we're in the championship playoffs. So I mean, we may not see him be quite as aggressive as he would be on some other nights, but still, it's good to see Leroy out there and mixing it up with these guys.
Big checkup out of the 1 of Zach Tucker right there. The 33 of Thomas Ridgway was all over the back end of that truck. And right now we have about a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, call it 7, 8 trucks all under a blanket battling for what's going to be about the 13th, 14th position.
It was quite the little gaggle up there they had. I mean, these guys are, you know, they're searching high, searching low, and one little checkup causes, you know, causes that quite of a gaggle. I mean, you could throw a blanket under those 7 trucks right there. So great racing by all these guys so far right now.
This is where the action is right now. There's no change out front. Still right now, Lambert leads over Nagel. It's going to be by about 2/10. Henry just a little bit off that. Phelps, Cal. So no change 1 through 5. Morrison still locked in 6th. Nagel, Jacob in the 48 7th. Acker 8th. Modric 9th. Gardner 10th. Right now, though, these guys, Russ, here, they're looking 3 wide, and they are 3 wide, Russ.
Yeah, these guys are not trying to give anything up right now. I mean, they are going hard for it back here in the back, towards the back side of the field. I mean, we've got 2, 3 wide action just slicing and dicing.
Right now, race fans, I don't want to leave this action. This is where it is right now. As you can see, this track is multi-groove for these race trucks here tonight in the Free Time Racing League. Again, no change out front, but these guys are battling as they head into turn 3.
Yeah, just trying not to give up. See, we got one up there on the high side, a little slow. Not sure what happened. Is that?
That's the 45 of Martin Henry.
That's what I was trying to figure out who that was. Not sure if maybe he got in the wall or something, and it really slowed him down. But it put him all the way back here in this gaggle of trucks.
It has put him back here into this gaggle of trucks, and right now I did see a little bit of a smoke off of a wall a couple of laps ago, or a lap and a half or so ago, and maybe that's what that was.
I looked up and all of a sudden I just seen him dropping like a sack of potatoes, and I said, thought maybe he got up into the wall just a little bit.
As you can see, these guys are still racing heavy back here. I tell you, Russ, this is what I love the most about racing the trucks, right? Is just how grouped they stay and how tight the racing is. I mean, it's all about momentum. Again, we talked about it in pre-race. It's momentum style racing, and if you don't carry momentum, it's really going to kill and ultimately stall your runs. And you can see right now the 70 of Chris Melton working on the outside of the number 1 of Zach Tucker. But again, that's momentum, right? He was able to clear there. It's momentum, and that's what makes this truck so much fun to race.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I absolutely love running these trucks. I mean, like you said earlier in the pre-race, I mean, over time with these continued updates that iRacing puts out, these trucks have seemed to get a little bit looser. It really makes them a lot of fun to drive, but it also allows you to put these trucks into different positions than what you could say even 6 months ago, and it definitely makes these trucks a little bit more racier and makes them a lot more fun to drive and even call from up here in the booth.
It does, and right now we have a battle for what's going to be the 4th position. This is going to be between Joseph Phelps, Brandon Cow, the 57-85. Joseph's been able to run that outside next towards the wall, about a half a lane, call it, off the wall, and he's actually been able to hold it really, really well. A little bit loose on exit there, but he's done an amazing job running that outside line right now.
It looks like he's going to finally get himself clear to that 85. And then now you see the 6 truck starting to kind of creep in on the 85's bumper here, trying to maybe take a position from him as well.
Yeah, and right now he would be outside Chris Melton. One of our biggest movers would be Matt Morrison, currently up 5 spots. So he, starting from the 10th position, working himself up to what's now inside the top 5. One of the guys that I think we're going to want to keep an eye on that's making progression will be Matt Morrison. Right now, 1 through 5 is going to stay single file. Lambert's been able to put a little bit of a distance between him and Nagel. Right now, it's about, call it 9/10, give or take.
This is one of the things that we're usually used to seeing out of the 90. I mean, he gets that lead, and then, you see him over time, he really starts to stretch that lead out. Now we're going to see possibly the first pit stop of the race right here, 20 laps in.
20 laps in, and there comes the leader. He has hit pit road. Now, again, we know he is a 5-time race winner here in the Free Time Racing League in the Truck Series. So I'm going to venture to say, if anybody knows strategy, it's going to be the 90 of Lambert. But that is going to turn the lead over to Nagel. But right now, the battle for 3rd, that's the heating up, because here we go. We got Cal putting pressure back all over Phelps again.
Just tried to make that thing work. Able to get down now. Okay, I was saying, now we got everybody else coming down pit road because we saw the leader come down, but the 85 is still going to stay out for another lap.
So right now, again, we're in that portion of the race where we talked about it during pre-race, getting on, off pit road. Right now, we see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably, give or take, the top remaining 6 trucks down on pit road. The one guy that chose to stay out there, Russ, was the 85 of Cal. You got Cal, you got Melton, Gardner, Tucker still out on the racetrack, and here comes Cal right now in the 85.
Like I said, this is one thing we've seen out of these guys is differing strategies. You know, I mean, some leads you kind of got to follow the leader effect. You know, when you see that leader come in, you know, you either follow them in or you come in that very next lap. These guys here, some will stay out for 2 laps, 3 laps, maybe even 4 laps if they can make that fuel stretch. But the one thing that we have seen, and you just said it here a little bit ago, was that Josh Lambert knows his pit strategies. And, you know, we've seen this, you know, be kind of a thing that we've seen on and off over the last couple of races is we've kind of found ourselves questioning his strategies, you know, because we're not sure if it was going to play out or something just seemed off about it. And then by the end of the race, it's like, hey, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Look what I just did. And, you know, he wins by 6 seconds. So, I mean, we've kind of learned to not question Josh Lambert's pit strategies anymore because he just makes us look like fools week in and week out.
Yeah, we talked about this Thursday night in a broadcast we did together, and I just I'm not good at a fuel deal, just am not. But that will turn the lead over with Zach Tucker coming to pit road, where it was able to run the longest out of anybody, but that will turn the lead over. And in fact, what was call it a 9/10 of a second lead has transitioned Russ into about 2.5.
Yep. And this is normal of what we see. I mean, Josh Lambert, that 90, nails his pit stops time and time again. And every time that he makes a pit stop, you know, we always see a substantial growth in his lead by the time everything cycles out. I mean, and if this thing goes green till the next round of pit stops, I'm sure we'll see that extend out more after that round of pit stops. And just somehow this man has been able to master each and every pit road that he has tackled, and he has been able to add on to his lead each and every time that he has to come down pit road. So it's very impressive to watch the 90 be able to go out and lead and extend that lead week in and week out just off of pit road.
And I can tell you can make up a lot of time on pit road, but you can also lose a lot of time on pit road. But in fact, that will extend the lead out to about 2.5 seconds. Now, right now behind Bryant, in the 458, give or take about 6/10 will be Joseph Phelps, will be Joseph Phelps, and then about a 2.5 or so, 3/10 off of him is going to be Cal, and about 4/10 off of him is going to be Matt Morrison. So we have 2 through 5 positions right now underneath of a blanket, and then a little bit back behind Morrison will be Chris Melton, and he's back by about 2 3/4 seconds, give or take.
Yeah, and Melton in that 70, he was one of them drivers last week that we thought, you know, was maybe trying to stretch a fuel run out and try to steal a win away. Just quite, you know, didn't quite work out, you know, in his favor in the end of that race last week. But, you know, he's another one that we kind of got to watch. He's like one of those silent, you know, like the silent assassin where, you know, he'll kind of run maybe, you know, mid pack for most of the race, and then towards the end you'll see him. He'll be up front. So, you know, that 70 of Chris Melton, definitely another driver we're gonna have to keep our eye on tonight.
Well, right now Chris Melton is up, and I'm not exaggerating, race fans, when I say this, and Russ can back me up. Right now is up 17 spots on the racetrack.
Yeah, the 70 started way back in P23, didn't even lay a qualifying time down. You know, and right now he's worked his way all the way up to 6. So, I mean, great run here so far by the 70 truck, and we'll have to see if he can continue it on as this race goes on.
Great run going so far for him. We're going to take a gander through the field here, see if we can find a battle. In fact, here's going to be one. This is going to be the battle for what's going to be the 8th position. You've got Tim Johns, Barry Acker, Rick Modrick right here all together, the 32, 83, 71. That's going to be the battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th right here. It's a pretty good battle we have going on out of these drivers just inside the top 10.
Yeah, kind of a really good battle going on back there with these guys, and I keep watching, and it looks. I mean, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm still watching the leader, and it looks like Lambert's still extending that lead out just a little bit. I mean, he just keeps walking away just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, once you get out front, so this truck, right, especially at a mile and a half, would just be kind of, again, it's momentum, but it's rhythm, right? Once you get yourself in a really good rhythm, you know that you're holding on to what's close to now a 3-second lead. You don't have to overdrive the entry. You don't have to overdrive the centers. You don't have to push really hard on exit. You can just really set a rhythm and just pace yourself, right? And I think that's what Josh does, and what's made him so good throughout the season is just being able to pace yourself. Again, a lot of drivers see that and they want to race hard and try to, pull off of that, 3-second lead. And then, once you burn the tires off, that's where you really start to gap. So it's really just a matter of pacing yourself and carrying momentum throughout the corners.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then the other thing, like especially with these trucks, is that dirty air. I mean, that 90 being out front, he doesn't have any dirty air at all packed onto the nose of that truck. So he's got all that fresh air coming in, going to make him just that much quicker too.
It will make him that much quicker, but the battle for second, Russ, is heating up because right now you got the 85 of Cal really starting to put some pressure on the back of that 458. And again, if you're the 85 right here, how quick do you want to try to get around this race truck and try to get some clean air on the front end of yours? And yeah, he's going to make the move. He's going to have his corner, Russ, going down into turn 1.
Yeah, shot that thing down onto the apron on the front stretch there. Got that nose up underneath the 458. Now he's got that bottom line coming out of 2 to see if he's going to be able to make that thing stick. We know sometimes, and he does, I'll say sometimes, especially on fresher tires, those trucks get extremely loose on the exit.
Oh.
Now he's going to get into the back corner. 458 is going to stave it.
I tell you what a class act, though. Hold on. So, race fans at home, that's tight racing. But let me tell you what I seen the 85 just do. The 85
Same thing I saw him do.
braked and let Nagel stay in front of him. He was not going to take that position away, not like that. Hats off to the 85 right there for that. Look, I understand that was tough racing. He was trying to side draft, pull his corner. I get what he was doing. From a race fan perspective, hats off to the 85 for that amount of respect he just showed the 458 right there by not trying to take that position over with him sideways. And also, what a hell of a save by the 458, Russ.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, that was exactly what I saw. There was just that little bit of a side draft type of thing gone wrong. 85 got that bumper up into the left rear quarter panel of that truck, got the 458 sideways. And the 85 just kind of lifted and let that 458 back in, had that spot back. I mean, the 6 there, Matt Morrison, was the biggest benefit from that whole situation, being able to get by both those guys and work his way up to P2. But definitely class act there by the 85 of Brandon Cowell, lifting, giving that spot back, knowing that that's not what he was trying to do. And, like you said, hell of a save there by that 458, being able to keep that thing up underneath him and get it back on the track and keep right on going.
Yeah, Matt did nothing wrong there. He was just, taking advantage of the situation that was laying out in front of him. Absolutely nothing wrong with what he did, and I don't see anything wrong out of the racing that we've seen there. So hats off to those guys. Right now, that battle still rages on. In fact, Cal will finally get around Bryant Nagel for that, what would be third position now. So Matt Morrison, one guy that we kept an eye on, or we talked about a little bit earlier throughout the early part of the first run, has now assumed the second position.
Yeah, he was able to definitely take advantage of that situation, get him up there to second. But I'm starting to see the 85 now that he got clear of that 458. He's starting to run that 6 truck down and trying to work his way back up, trying to get that P2 spot from Matt Morrison.
Yeah, and I want to take a look at Brandon's lap times in comparison to the leaders, and I'm going to see if I can't compare it. In fact, right now, the last time by, Brandon was actually a little bit faster than your current race leader in Josh Lambert. So matching lap times is the 85. Now, the problem to that, though, Russ, is that 5-second lead that we see out there right now.
Yeah, and what you were just talking about with the 85 posting a quicker lap time than the 90 right now. is I guarantee you that the 90 is saving just a little bit, trying to stretch this, because you figure he came down pit road on lap 20. We've got a 100-lap race. And if there's a caution and we happen to have overtime at the end of this thing, 20 laps is 20 laps. So you're going to have 4 pit stops, 20 at 20, 40, 60, and 80. And if we have overtime and you can only get 20 laps, it's not going to give you enough for the overtime. So right now, Lambert's got such a big lead that, he could try to save just a little bit of fuel, extend one of these runs to make sure that that final pit stop is going to give him enough fuel to make it the distance to the finish with a green-white checker if we had to have it. And this is one thing we see with Josh when he gets these really big leads, is he's able to back that thing down, save some fuel, save some tire, and extend a run out just whether it's a lap or 2 laps a stint. By the end of it, now you've got 5 extra laps that you don't have to try to save anything towards the end of the race.
Yeah, and right now the leaders 1, 2, and 3 is currently matching lap times amongst each other. Again, the 85 a little bit faster that last time by. Right now, though, Russ, I'm back here. I'm riding with John Gardner in the 17th position, where there's 4 trucks that's found each other, and they've been on top of each other for about the last, say, 3 laps.
Yeah, they've kind of been battling. I mean, you got those 4 right there trying to work this thing out here in the back of the field just a little bit.
So pretty good racing out of these guys back here. We got a couple of guys on pit road. You can see Jacob Nagel, Tim Jones. Yep.
Yeah, I was just gonna say a little bit ago. I noticed we're getting up there to the post 40 lap part of it, so we should be starting to see some pit stops happening here pretty soon.
And in fact, you will see Lambert hit pit road this time. Now, Morrison and company, in fact, Morrison and Cal's going to stay on the racetrack. They've got to come this time, though, Russ. If it was me and I know the leaders on pit road, you've got to come this time. You cannot let the 90 get back out on the racetrack with a fresh set of tires and have that advantage, at least for no more than just the lap.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times that's what you'll see. The leader will come down, then everybody will follow. We'll see the 6 coming down, and now we see the 85 coming down. So, yep, both those guys are going to hit pit road along with the 458.
I tell you, a bold move out of the 85. Right now, we do have a black flag on pit road. It's going to be Martin Henry, I believe, although I could be wrong. He shows to be in the pits. But that was a bold move out of the 85. I don't know if you've seen what he did there, Russ, but he actually was able to get past the 6 on pit road entry, and it doesn't look like, I don't see any flags coming from race control, at least from what I can tell. So great job by the 85 right there. That's going to turn the lead over to Chris Melton. He's now going to come down the pit road, and so we're going to have to let all this cycle back out here again.
One thing, the one thing we've seen out of these guys throughout the season is, is what you just called it with the 85. I mean, some guys, they tend to take it just a little bit easier coming out of pit road, making sure that they're not locking them up, not risking spinning themselves out. And you got somebody that's definitely got a really good feel of their pedals and are not afraid to really kind of full send it down onto pit road. And, I'm pretty sure we saw something like that last week. And, it's a really good battle for position actually coming onto pit road, because one driver is able to get on the binders just a little bit better than the other.
Yeah, and again, exactly like I said, you can make up a lot of time on pit road entry. You can lose a lot of time on pit road. So that will, it's just something you got to keep an eye on with that, amount of fuel that's allotted in these race trucks. You got to keep an eye on it. It's a talking point all night long. And in fact, right now, this is going to turn the lead over to Josh Lambert, I believe. In fact, he will get back past the 1 truck and will take back over the lead. So Matt Morrison is going to be back here in 3rd. He'll cycle back out the 2nd once this is over. But I can tell you that's it's going to be a massive lead.
I was just going to say, I'm going to be really interested to see how much more time that Lambert was able to make up on pit road that time. I'm pretty sure he came onto pit road about 4.5 to 5 seconds ahead of 2nd place. and it looks like he's going to probably have maybe about 8 to 8.5 seconds over Matt Morrison once this thing cycles itself back out.
Yeah, it appears that that's what it's going to be. Is going to be within that area. In fact, right now I'm still following the 6 and the 85 as that battle for position rages on. We've completed very quickly 48, now going to be working, 47, now working 48 laps here live from the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You can see Tim Johns back here in the 8th position. I'm trying to find us a battle, Russ, and I'm just not seeing one right now. All these race trucks has got spread out. What's been a caution-free race all race long. And Matt Morrison has taken over the 2nd position. He's got around the 85.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that we've seen with these guys. I mean, you know, now that like I said, now that they have really figured themselves out and have gotten past that whole, 2-3 cautions in the first 20 or so laps, I'm pretty sure last week it went flag to flag, no cautions last week. So, I mean, we're definitely in store to see that again here tonight. And it's like you said, now that we're through that first and that second round of green flag pit stops, the battles are going to get tougher and tougher as these trucks continue to get more and more spread out once these pit stops happen.
They will continue to get spread out as the pit stops continue to take place. Russ, we're going to take a very quick commercial break, and we'll get right back here with all the racing action live from the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where right now Josh Lambert out to a commanding almost 10-second lead. Welcome back, race fans. No change out front. Lambert, in fact, has extended that lead just a little bit. Right now, you got Morrison, Cal, Nagel, and Nagel. And the 48 has worked himself up to the 5th position. We want to say thank you to Complete Graphics here at Free Time Racing League for everything that they do with the Complete Graphics Truck Series. I believe that's owned and operated, Russ, tell me if I'm wrong, John Fowler, is it not?
Definitely is. John Fowler, owner of Complete Graphics, good friend of ours. If you got you're looking for a paint scheme or anything like that, you definitely look up Complete Graphics. He does great work. I think he's kind of on hold right now. I think he's having a little bit of some kind of an issue, but definitely check out Complete Graphics if you're looking for any kind of a paint for any vehicle on ride race.
I can tell you the paints that I've seen him put together are super, super, super clean. We'll get back into the racing action. We're going to be coming up on what I believe should be another round of pit stops here in about, I'm going to call it 5 to 10 laps. Again, Lambert in heavy lap traffic right now. The next guy to go, I believe, one lap down will be the 57. And in fact, Lambert will get around him. You know, Russ, if you're the rest of the field, you come out, you race 9 in and 9 out. You know, Lambert's had a dominating season. Do you leave the racetrack scratching your head trying to figure out just exactly what you can do to beat this guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, watching this guy all season long, it's just been really impressive to see what kind of runs that he can put on. Doesn't really matter the track type, whether it's a short track, an intermediate, mile and a half. It just doesn't matter. It just seems like anywhere we go that this 90 truck is going to be the man to beat. And yeah, I mean, you know, if you're another driver out there and you're just seeing this week in and week out, you're like, man, what is he doing different that I can do to get faster like him? And I mean, I've had plenty of leagues that I've ran where I've been like, I can't keep up with these guys. I don't know what they're doing. So, I mean, yeah, you're definitely left scratching your head when you're running against a guy like Josh.
Yeah, I mean, every league has a guy like Josh, or so it seems like, right? I mean, there's been several leagues that I've ran into to where, you know, I've left scratching my head going, man, what could have I done different? You know, could I save tires a little bit different? Was I too aggressive? Was I too conservative? But it seems like about every league, at least within a large portion of them, has a dominating style driver who just fits what's going on with, you know, the setups, whether they're fixed or not, but then the fuel mileage game, right? The fuel strategy. And that's where he's made up a lot of his time. We can go back just a little, not too far, you know, not too long ago. We can go back and we know that Morrison, Cal, we know those guys can match lap times with Lambert, but he's winning the race on off pit road. That's where he's doing it.
Yeah, on and off pit road and just over the course of a long run. I mean, you know, we've seen it a couple times this year where we've had these, you know, late race restarts and, you know, guys like Matt Morrison or, you know, Brandon Cowell, Brian Nagel, I mean, Chris Melton. I mean, there's several of these guys on like a last lap, you know, like a green, white checker or a late race restart. They're able to hang with Josh, you know, for about, you know, 2 or 3 laps. And then it's just like once Josh gets cleared, gets that clean air on the nose, he just sets sail. And that dominance is just, it's kind of overwhelming at certain points, you know?
Yeah, I don't disagree. And right now I'm keeping an eye back here on the 48 and the 70. I've been watching this battle between Chris Melton and Jacob. And in fact, Jacob's going to come to pit road. So that's going to tell me that should open up, I believe. When was the last time? Yeah, most of these drivers was on pit road around lap 42. So pit window, I believe, is open for these drivers. So we should see them start to hit pit road. In fact, there comes our leader, Josh Lambert, now. So we know that he's going to have to make at least, Russ, one more stop. Again, he was about 10.8 seconds out on his lead. The caution's out.
We got a caution.
Matt Morrison. I'm going to go back and see if I can pull this. We got Matt Morrison inside the one here of Tucker. Let's see what happens. Oh, Matt tries to slow down to get to pit road. The 85 not expecting it at all and just runs into the back of him. Again, it was completely unexpected. So let me go back and see. I want to play this again, race fans. I'm going to try to find, I'm going to go on board the 85. Let me see if I can find him.
I was going to say, it looked like the one truck on the outside of Matt Morrison kind of slowed up, and that kind of forced the 85 to jump to the bottom to try to avoid running into the back of the one. And then once he got down there, not expecting the 6 truck to make a beeline for pit road or to slow up for pit road, and just not enough time at the last second to make a shot to the right to get around him and just clip that right rear quarter.
Yeah, that's what
Or
we're
the right
gonna.
rear bumper.
Yep, that's exactly what we're gonna see here. Now you can see the 85 is hit to the bottom with Morrison. There you see Morrison checking up. That tells me he was wanting to come to pit road. Cal tried to adjust for it, just barely got the back bumper of the 6 of Morrison and the 458 with just nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go. And that's exactly what we've seen there. So that was an untimely style of situation, really, because Lambert was on pit road. But in fact, I think that will help him being on pit road. So he shouldn't lose a lap or anything like that. He should be able to retain. In fact, he will retain the lead, Russ.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had just made it down onto pit road, so I mean, it's kind of a lucky break by him because I think he had maybe only cleared the commitment line by like 1 sector. So, I mean, if that caution would have come out, right before he committed, he would have probably had to have served a black flag for coming down on a closed pit. But timing was just right, able to already be on within a segment on pit road, and yeah, I don't think it's going to hurt him too bad. I think there's possibly only going to be 2 drivers that might be ahead of him on the track. Maybe not. I'm looking at the lineup right now. It's showing the 85 as being in front of him, but I think the 85 is still on pit road. So yeah, this might cycle back out where Josh is still going to be your leader.
Yeah, and I think that the other guy that this plays really into the hands of is going to be the 48 of Jacob Nagel, because Jacob, we know, came 1 lap sooner than the 90, and in fact, that's going to give him tons of track position to move him up to the 2nd position. Now, this entire lineup now has changed. Now that we've seen the 85 Matt Morrison, those guys are still down on pit road, still getting repairs fixed. So you got Lambert, Nagel, Johns, Modrich, Barry Aker, Melton, Stutzman, Ridgway, Gardner Sr., and Leroy. That's going to be the top 10.
It's one of the things that we notice is, sometimes these these cautions, especially right around the green flag pit stops, they could really shake up the running order. And you start to see guys being up front who were struggling for most of the race, maybe, or just not having quite enough speed. Now they've kind of got a whole new life with being up front, and they have that opportunity to get maybe just a little bit of cleaner air, and maybe we'll start seeing some of these guys being able to make some good runs.
Well, now we're less than 40, call it about 33, 32 laps to go once we hit the start-finish line. The lights will be out on the iRacing pace car. That means he'll take the hard left-hand turn, Russ, and we're going to get this race back on the green. Now, again, we know that Lambert so far still, much like the rest of the season's, had a dominating performance tonight. But right now, there's some new guys up front looking to make a name for themselves. The green flag is back out. We're back underway here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Restart, he had control, so he could go anytime inside that restart zone. But the 48 able to stay right with him just for a little bit there, and he is going to be right on the bumper of the 48 coming out of turn 2.
He will be on the bumper right there, will be the 48, the 90. Again, we've seen this earlier with the 458. I'm assuming maybe relatives. They share the same last name. I could be wrong. But right now, you've got about, say, 8 to 10 trucks all looking to try to make a run at Lambert here.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those times where, you're going to want to try to jump as many positions as we can. We see some 3-wide battles going on back here in the back. Even maybe 4 wide. Nope, one snuck out of it. Almost went 4 wide there coming out of turn 2. We've almost got it going into 3, but 2 guys backing out. This is where you're going to see guys trying to make some moves, trying to gain as many positions as they can on this start. As we see Tim Giles, that 32, get a heck of a run off of turn 4 down to the apron. He's going to get by the 48, and he's going to start trying to reel in this 90.
In fact, that's going to be the 70 of Melton. Right now, Melton is starting to put a little bit of pressure on that 90, and here he comes. He's not letting no grass grow underneath his 4 fresh good years. Melton to the top.
Yeah, Melton, that 70 had a really good run. I miscalled that, definitely. My apologies. had a heck of a run coming there off of 4, able to get by that 48, and then just absolutely ran down the 90. Not sure what he might have done different, but there's a lot of speed behind the wheel of that 70 truck right now.
There is some speed behind that 70. You know that you're going to have to make at least one more stop. You'll not be able to get to the end here. In fact, right now, positions 1 through 5, last on pit road, 64, 64, 63, and lap 62. Right now, Melton shows the way, but they're going to have about 10 laps, and that's going to open up what's going to be pit road opportunity. Right now, Thomas Ridgway's taking over second place from Lambert. Lambert probably in fuel save mode.
I was just thinking, I think he's probably going into fuel saving mode. He's going to try to maybe run this out just a little bit farther than what some of these other guys are going to be able to. And maybe try to make it to where he's got the freshest tires come the end of this thing. But yeah, we're going to be within the window in 10 laps or so to be able to make this thing to the end. So definitely some strategy going on right now. We keep seeing the 90 falling back. But now back to P5 as the 57 and the 53 able to get by him. I think he's definitely into some kind of a fuel saving mode right now.
He is in fuel saving mode. There's got to be no question right now. The last lap time by for Josh Lambert, 31.85. Your leader, 31.1. So right now at about 7-8 tenths difference between those two trucks. Melton still shows the way, about a half-second lead over Ridgway, Phelps, Gardner, Lambert. That's going to round out the top 5 right now. This is going to be an interesting way to finish this race. If Lambert is able to extend this, that's asking a lot, right? I mean, you're talking he was last on pit road, Russ. What would have been lap, say, 63 last time on pit road. All the drivers in front of him, 1 through 4, was last on pit road lap 64. So 63 trying to get to the finish is going to be roughly, call it, 36, 37 laps. I just don't know if he can save 15 laps of fuel. We're going to find out what the strategy is. Right now, Melton shows the way.
Definitely not going to be able to save that much fuel. I think maybe just trying to stretch it a little bit farther than that 20 lap range that he's been coming down pit road. Maybe trying to make sure he can save enough just for maybe a green-white checker in case we happen to have one of those. But yeah, right now, I mean, Melton, Ridgway, Phelps, and Gardner just kind of checking out right now from the rest of the field.
And right now, the fastest guy, or one of the fastest guys on the racetrack, is going to be Thomas Ridgway in that 33. You got the 57 of Phelps. We know that he had that outside line working earlier on in the race. Right now, Ridgway's closed in from what was about a 7/10 of a second lead down to about half that, to about 3.5 as we hit 25 to go here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, closing in on the end of this thing down to the last 25 laps. I mean, right now you figure, Chris Melton, trying to figure out if he can make this thing work, get that thing to the finish line, and make sure that he's one of these 6 drivers that's going to transfer to the final championship race next week. I mean, we've got a couple of those guys. They're not actual playoff drivers. So, I mean, you've got Thomas Ridgway there in that 33. He's not one of those top 12, so he is not going to be battling for a championship this year. But Joseph Phelps is in, and so we've got a lot of guys right now, under 25 to go, that are going to trying to figure out how they can make moves to make sure that they're at least within that top 6, so that they know that they can battle for a championship next week.
Yeah, right now, Melton, Ridgway, Phelps still showing the way. Again, it's all going to be about positioning yourself in a spot to lock yourself into the next round of 6 to be able to battle for a championship next week. Although that battle is starting to heat up, though, Ridgway has actually shaved another 10th off of Melton's lead. Now, Melton could be saving. He went a little bit hard those first couple of laps to get the lead. But right now, closing in is Ridgway. That battle's going to be heating up here in about 2 laps, Russ.
Yeah, Ridgway at that 33, definitely trying to run down that 70 and, try to take this lead over. I mean, we kind of hate to say it, but they're starting to run down that 6 truck of Martin and trying to get him put a lap down after that last caution.
So right now, I'm going to take a look at the laps in terms of lap times the last time by. Right now, Lambert in the 5th position, 32.1. The leader laying down a 31.5. So still about 6-7 tenths is the difference in lap times right now. As you can see, the battle for the lead is raging on. You got Melton, Ridgway, Phelps ain't far back off. If these guys get to racing, that could allow Phelps to close in. We know he's a playoff contender, is he not?
Yeah, he is. And like I said, that having the 6 there of Morrison, he just kind of got up on that high side and let those 2 guys go. But I think that gave the 33 just enough of a window to get himself a little bit closer to that 70 to try to battle for this lead here.
So the pit road window is going to start opening as we've hit 20 to go here, Russ. And now, if you know you're one of these drivers here that cannot make it to the end and you're not saving, when's the call to come to pit road, and how quick do you want to try to make it happen?
I mean, it's definitely going to vary. I mean, for me, I'm thinking maybe around within the next 3 to 4 laps potentially. Depending on what the other drivers and what the leaders are going to be doing. You want to make sure that, if this is going to be the call to go to the end of the race, you want to make sure you factor in for that potential of the green-white checker. I mean, you're hoping you don't see it, but you want to make sure that you've got enough fuel to make it at least for the green-white checker if that should happen to come. So I'm figuring, minimum at least in the next 2 to 3 laps maybe right now.
Yeah, that's exactly when I would want to come down pit road, is I want to make sure that I can get on off pit road with enough fuel to get me to the end, because I want to be able to go back out, pace myself for as long as I can. We know, we're guessing, we don't know for sure, race fans at home, but right now we're guessing a lot of guys on fuel save mode, as a lot of these guys are going to try to extend it. We'll see if that works out for Lambert, Modric, Acker, and those guys. We'll see if the fuel save works for them. Right now, I can tell you who's not saving fuel. That's Melton and Ridgway Phelps. In fact, here comes Ridgway right now. Ridgway's coming to pit road.
Ridgway's coming. It looks like Phelps is coming. Melton's going to stay out for at least another lap. So we're definitely going to have a little bit of a differing strategies here.
So good call by Ridgway Phelps. They're going to be able to get on off pit road. Now we know right now this is going to put it in the hands of Chris Melton. Miss Chris Melton's going to have to come to pit road this time. You don't want to allow Phelps, Ridgway, and those guys to really, jump over top of you in track position. The longer you stay out here with those worn tires, the harder it's going to be. In fact, Chris is going to stay out another time by. We'll see where Ridgway, Phelps, and these guys shake out here once we get through this cycle, and as we head into the final, what's going to be 16, maybe 15 laps to go here.
Yeah, like I said, a little bit of a differing strategy. And not only that, but, is this going to be fuel only? Is it going to be 2 tires? I mean, do you want to waste the time of getting 4 tires? I don't think it's going to be worth it here to take 4, maybe 2 while you're gassing up, but we might be seeing some different strategies playing out here when these guys coming down pit road.
Yeah,
Melton's going to stay out another lap.
Yeah, Melton staying out another lap. Lambert is on pit road. We know Ridgway, we know Phelps has already been on pit road right now. In fact, Thomas Ridgway has actually been able to put quite a bit of distance between him and Phelps. I think right now, Russ, and I don't want to speak too soon, but right now, the guy in the catbird seat, I think, is going to be Thomas Ridgway. Melton's on pit road.
I mean, that earlier pit stop could definitely put the 33 into potentially into that catbird seat. But we've learned it time and time again to never call it too early. So I mean, there's still a lot of things that could happen here in the last 12 or 13 laps that we got here, and we'll have to see how this thing plays out.
We're going to have to see how this plays out. As you can see, there comes your race leader currently. That's going to be Gardner in the 53. Ridgway has went around him. So he'll have to come back around and cycle back around in front of him. And in fact, you can see there comes Chris Melton. So right now, here's your race off pit road. You got Melton that's about to hit the blend line. And in fact, he has. There's Melton. There's Ridgway coming right there. This is going to be the battle for what I think Russ is going to be the lead. In fact, Ridgway's going to be able to clear. Melton's going to have about 3-ish or so better tires on that race truck. Right now, some distance behind them is Josh Lambert. I'm going to call it close to about 11 seconds, give or take. We'll see how it all plays out. But right now, this is going to allow Ridgway, Melton, that's going to take over, and Phelps, that's going to take over 1, 2, 3 right there as we come to 13 to go.
Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't able to really see what these guys did when they came down pit road, but I mean, if these guys all took tires, yeah, that 70 is going to have, 2 or 3 lap fresher tires, and what the 33 are. Now we see a battle for that P2 there, the 57 to the outside of the 70. I was just going to say maybe the fresher tires on the 70, if he got tires, might be able to give him a run to the back up to the 33, but right now that 57 is coming.
Yeah, the 57's coming, and by looking at the pit times right now, your race leader Thomas Ridgway was on pit road a total of 37.5 seconds in his pit stall for 7, and it's going to be about the same for Melton. I believe that was going to be maybe a 2-tire only stop. I show, though, Joseph Phelps in the 57 was on pit road at a pit time of 11.5 seconds. So I'm going to venture to say 2-tire stop for the 3370, 4-tire stop for the 57. Right now, the 57, he's got a rocket ship coming to 10 to go.
That definitely makes sense, seeing all that different, the difference in the speed, how quick the 57 was able to run the 70 and the 33 down. And now he is gapping them guys and starting to stretch this thing out with coming to 10 to go here.
I like 4 fresh tires over a 2-tire stop any day. Again, if you've got them, use them, right? You can't take them with you next week, so you might as well use them if you've got them right now. Phelps is going to show the way. You got Ridgway, Melton, Gardner, Lambert back there. Lambert is about 8.5 seconds off race leader. We're going to be able to, we'll see where he's going to shake out here. Now, right now, if there's that much time difference between 4 fresh Goodyears and maybe what might only been a 2-tire stop at best case for Ridgway Melton, this allows Lambert an opportunity to really close the gap on these guys, because right now it's only about 6 seconds difference. And we've seen, Russ, how quick Phelps was able to run him down. I'm sure that Lambert might be able to squeak out what might be a second, third place finish here.
Well, possible. I mean, if he came down, he got those 4 tires. I mean, if he can run these guys down, it's very possible that we could see him back up to a second or third place finish here tonight.
So right now, your 5th place running driver in Josh Lambert's last lap was a 30.99. He's about a second and a quarter quicker than the 33 and 70. He's about a second and a quarter quicker a lap, give or take right now, Russ. With 8 laps to go, Phelps still shows the way.
Yeah, Phelps is sending that lead out almost up to 3 seconds now over Ridgway. And Melton's still right there in P3 trying to run this 33 down.
And in fact, you can see Melton has started to close the gap just a little bit on the 33. We can see Lambert has closed within them in about 3.3 seconds or so. I'll take a look, though, Russ, at the last lap by for these drivers. Melton was a 32.21. Lambert was a 31.1, so he's still about a second and a quarter quicker than these guys in front of him.
Yeah, just got to be able to try to work that gap down. And I mean, right now Josh is still in a good position, running in P4, but just not sure if he's got enough time to make up anything else.
In fact, he is substantially quicker than our race leader that's out on the racetrack right now, but with 6 laps to go, 7 seconds, it's going to be hard to overcome what could be, barring no cautions. And if you're Joseph Phelps, you don't want to see any of those yellow flags start to fly, as we do have 5 laps to go here at Las Vegas, Russ. What very well could be the call of the night for the 57 if he's able to bring this thing home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, we've seen strategies play out in so many different ways so far this season, and you know, it looks like there's definitely the potential that you know, a little bit of a differing strategy is going to be beneficial here for this 57 looking to pick up a win and definitely lock himself into the championship race next week.
So right now, I don't want to take anything from the 57, no change out front, but your 90 and Josh Lambert, well, he's at the back bumper of Melton Ridgeway here. With 4 laps to go, that gap is it's closing up rather rapidly, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of closing in, working his way up there, trying to get there. Looks like he's right on that back bumper of the 70 now. Trying to look to the inside, coming off of 4. Going to get down to the apron. Yep, going down to the apron, try to make this pass clear. 3 to go, 2 to go.
Right now, you can see Lambert right here with Ridgeway Melton. He's going to try to take over the second spot. Again, I believe this is 4 fresh Goodyears to 2 Goodyear tires on the last pit call. It's going to pay out for Ridgeway and Melton. I feel like that they're going to be able to still lock in what's going to be a top 5 position. But right now, Joseph Phelps, he holds about a 6.5 second lead as we're going to be coming to the white flag here.
Yeah, coming down the backstretch now. Got a substantial lead, 6.5 seconds. Now Lambert up there to P2. Definitely not going to have enough time unless we see something absolutely crazy happen before Melton gets to the line. But he's going to come down to the line here. Or Phelps is coming down to the line. We're going to see that white flag.
White flag, 1 lap to go here in the free time racing complete graphics truck series out live from Las Vegas Speedway. What a call made by Joseph Phelps to position himself for a chance to win with only 1 more corner to go. Russ, we could see a fifth different winner here in free time racing truck series in Joseph Phelps.
Yeah, Phelps coming down here, coming across the line, going to win the first round of the playoffs here in Las Vegas and lock himself into the championship race next week. Great job. Great call by the 57.
Great call by the 57. That's going to allow Josh Lambert to bring it home second, Thomas Ridgeway third, Chris Melton fourth, and Rick Modrich in fifth. That's going to be the top 5. We'll get to those unofficial results here momentarily. We're going to go watch the 57, and I'm sure he's going to burn them down, Russ. But overall, what an amazing call. What an amazing race. What an amazing night.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of typical stuff that we see here in free time. I mean, like I said, lately these guys have been really clean. I mean, we only had that 1 caution for that 1 small little incident that happened earlier. And other than that, clean and green, multiple pit stops, differing strategies. Definitely an interesting race here tonight at Vegas, and 57 in the end, able to figure out how to get it done.
So we're going to see if we can't show the race results here. And in fact, there they are. Let me back up just a little bit. There we go. Had to back up some, but right there you can see it. Joseph Phelps, your race winner. Josh Lambert second, Thomas Ridgeway third, Chris Melton fourth, Rick Modrich fifth.
And Barry Acker going to come home in 6th. Jacob Nagel on that 48 coming home in 7th. John Gardner in 8th. Tim Johns 9th. And then Leroy Koblenz going to round out your top 10. Charlie Stutzman going to come home in 11th. Clyde's going to be home in 12th. John Gardner Sr. in 13th. Christopher Wolford in 14th. Randy Coyer going to come home in P15 tonight.
Yeah, and Juan Valles is going to come home 16th. Michael Ziegler is going to come home 17th. Matt Morrison 18th. What was a promising run for him will finish 3 laps down. Zach Tucker 19th. Ryan Lang 20th. Shannon Ogle 21st. Brandon Cow 22nd. Again, another solid run. Just an untimely caution with that accident that he was involved in with Matt. And that will bring home Martin Henry in the 24th position. Rush, you want to see if we can get these guys up here and conversate with them a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm doing a little bit of looking to try to point out who's transferring, who those 6 drivers are that are going to battle for a championship next week here. But we can go ahead and start talking to some guys here real quick if we got anybody waiting for us.
Yeah, I be honest, I don't know who's who in terms of Discord names. So,
I see one being in there right now, and I'm not recognizing the name, but let's go ahead and try to move him up here and see if we can get a talk with him and figure out who he is.
sure.
Hello?
Yeah, it's
Hey, this is Russ and Brandon up here in the booth. You got a copy?
You sure do.
Hey, man, we're not sure by your Discord name exactly who we're talking to, but which one of these top 3 guys are you?
This is Joseph.
Nice,
a race winner. There we go.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's hey, no better place to start with than other than the guy that won the freaking race, man. Right? So, man, what an amazing call, right? You come down pit road. I'm assuming you took 4 fresh Goodyears on that last cycle. That was ultimately the call to win the race. I feel like, and I know Russ probably does too. Take us through that. Take us through that pit call, right? To put, to get those tires and position yourself here tonight to win in free time racing.
So I pretty much was trying to save fuel to try to like stretch out a stop, but I had a feeling that there was going to be a caution coming. And after the second time that I pitted without taking tires, my tires were getting pretty worn, and I was like, I got to take tires next time, which ended up being the caution. So that's when I took 4 tires, drove up through the field, and then I was like, well, I'm on pace with the 2 up in front of here, and I don't know if they've got tires or not, but I'm going to take 2 and see if I can stay out in front of them. And so the very last pit stop, the green flag pit stop, was 2 tires.
So it was a 2-tire call. So that tells me the other 2 did not have tires because you caught them rather quickly and was able to get around them rather easily. What an amazing job, though, man. I tell you, we watched you throughout the night battle. At one point in time, I believe it was you that was the only one running up next towards the wall, just trying to, maintain pace, staying in around the top 5.
Yeah, that's when my right front tires was pretty much almost gone. The one pit stop before that, I saw my right front was at 34, and I was like, I got to nurse this thing on the high side and hope that it turns better up there, because it seemed like on the bottom is where it would chew up the tires. But if you could stay up to the top and like knock some pace out of the truck, it would just kind of almost turn itself. And I wasn't putting a lot of wheel in it, and I was like, well, maybe I can nurse the tire up here. And I ended up losing a lap, and I was like, oh man, maybe if Josh pits and a caution comes out, that'll be like best case scenario for me. And that's exactly what happened. So I was surprised to see the speed that I had today compared to some of the other weeks that I've had, but that drive up through the field from the caution when I took 4 tires, that was incredible. Like, I have to go back and look at all that, because I was inside, outside, middle, 4 wide. I was making moves.
Well, I mean, there's no better week than this week, right? To find speed, to gain momentum, moving yourself on to the next round of the playoffs, where next week, right, I believe you'll be contending and racing for a championship.
Yep. I definitely want to thank Robert and FTR for putting on this event, because it's been a fun blast. It's been a blast for me since I've started racing in it. And definitely SFRG, all the guys over there. I've learned a little bit from Josh myself, so big thanks to him, Sale, everybody else here. It's just a good group to race with.
Russ, you got anything for our race winner?
Well, man, all I was going to ask was, we've got that, you're locked in now. You're locked in for next week at Chicagoland. What's going on? What's going on up in your mind moving into next week? What's your process going to be like for that championship race next week at Chicagoland? It's kind of same type of track, that 1.5 mile cookie cutter. I mean, what are you thinking moving ahead to that championship race next week?
Well, the good thing for me is I really like racing Chicagoland, and I'm really good with it in the trucks. It's the first track that I got a win with the truck in, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Probably similar strategy, probably same type of pace. Especially there, I feel like the high side's even more valuable there. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
So what you're saying is those other 5 drivers fighting for the championship need to watch out for you because you like that Chicago.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, hey man, great race all night long. Congrats on picking up the win, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week and go out there and fight for this championship, my friend.
Yep. Thank you guys, and hope you enjoyed the race.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
Yep.
I tell you what,
There
Russ,
was your race winner, man.
yeah, and what an amazing job, I mean, it was so we heard it. It was a 2-tire call, not a 4-tire call. So that tells me, Ridgeway, Melton didn't take any tires, maybe not, didn't have any left. So, just great job by Phelps there to be able to get the win here and move himself on the next week.
Yeah, I mean, showed a lot of speed here all night long, and able to come in and pick up this win. Now next week, I mean, he just got to go out and fight for this championship. I mean, according to if I got this correct. Next week it looks like it's going to be, Joseph Phelps, Josh Lambert, Chris Melton, Rich Modric, Tim Johns, and Charlie Stutzman battling for a championship next week in Chicagoland. So it's going to be really interesting to see what those guys pull next week.
Yeah, and I think Chicagoland's going to give us a really, really good race for a champion to be crowned at. I don't see any other of our the remaining top 3. I don't see Lambert Ridgeway up there anywhere, Russ, to conversate with him guys.
Yeah, I know some of these guys they don't necessarily like to do interviews, and that's fine. I do see that we got our league owner Robert Chappell up in here. Does he have anything he wants to say?
Yeah, guys, how's it going? That was a good race. I just came in to clear up some confusion. I wasn't very clear on the top 12 that were in there for tonight.
Oh, the top 12 fighting tonight wasn't what we had?
Well, the top 12, I wanted to give those top 12 out there because they made it, but I wasn't able to make the race tonight, so I gave my spot up to Jacob Nagale, and then Zach Tucker wasn't going to be able to make next race, so he gave his spot up to Juan Velez. So those guys were also in the top 12. So I got the top 6 moving on are JP, Josh Lambert, Chris Melton, Rick Modric, Jacob Nagale, and Tim Johns. That's your top 6 for the championship next week.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. We did not know that. So that's good information to have.
Yeah,
so definitely congrats. No, that's perfectly fine. Definite congrats to Jacob. I think he was the only one that I didn't have. So clarification wasn't, too far off. We were pretty close.
Yep.
Yeah. So
all right,
He
man.
was the one that jumped in.
I was saying, so what are your thoughts moving into next week? What do you hope to see out of these guys going for this championship?
I hope next week's race is just as good as this one was. I planned it out like this with the admin to make it a pit strategy just in case something like this happens. It was unfortunate for Brandon Cow and Matt Morrison. That looked like it took 2 of the top 12 out. That took 2 contenders out, and they were running top 5. They had a good spot, but I like the strategy part of this, and I don't like just the fast guys winning. We all know who the fast guy is in this league. So I want to put it up to a little bit of luck and a little bit of strategy.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, and a lot of times that's what guys want too. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I as well hate it for Matt Morrison and the 85. I can't remember the name.
Brandon Cow.
Yeah, Cal. I mean, it was just, we seen it, went back and reviewed it. It's just an unfortunate situation, just in around a lap truck there, and Morrison trying to get to pit road, and Cal tried to get off of his bumper, just didn't have enough time to be able to do it, and that was kind of a game changer to get that caution there, and then the strategy, right? I will say, Robert, you've done an amazing job, at least with the strategy side of things, from my perspective, coming up here and filling in for John tonight, just because we had a 2-tire call at the end that really propelled Phelps in a position to be able to get past Ridgeway, to be able to get past Melton. Lambert still had some tires, but he had about an 8-second difference that he was going to have to make up. So that strategy with all that and the way this race played out, phenomenal job.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I just like to shout out these guys for putting on a show. That was just a good race altogether, and they stuck it out for the whole season. We got one more race at Chicagoland. I just hope it's as good as this one was. I'll be there for next week's race, so try to get me another win and go out strong.
There you go.
That's all
Get
you
out
can
there
do.
and show all them show all them championship guys that they were lucky you weren't out there tonight, right?
Hey, yes, sir. I'm not fast at all. I'm just try to stay consistent, and I get lucky every now and then. I got lucky with my one race win.
Well, I'm sure.
All right, man.
I'm
Well,
sure you was fast. It's not always luck. You got to be fast to be able to win races. Luck sometimes has to have something to do with it, but you do have to have speed. So you got some speed in that race truck.
Mediocre. Yeah, every now and then I get lucky.
Well, Russ, final thoughts. We're heading to Chicagoland next week. We know who our top 6 is going to be. We just heard that from league owner. Thoughts going into Chicagoland with you'll have John back in the booth. Thoughts for Chicagoland?
well, I mean, that track, like I said, it plays kind of similar to what we saw tonight. So, hopefully we see just as much of the same as what we did here tonight, and that those 6 guys that go out there, they battle clean. I mean, I know we're fighting for that championship, and sometimes you those emotions, they come into play, and you start seeing guys do things that they normally wouldn't do, and maybe it's exciting, but at the same time, it's about that whole respect factor and trying to be clean and do it the right way. So hopefully we'll see more of the same as what we saw here tonight, but definitely looking forward to getting to Chicagoland next week and crowning ourselves a champion here at FTR.
Yeah, and it's going to be an absolutely amazing night. And I can tell you, John, Russ, I've had a lot of fun coming up in here, filling in for John tonight. We know he's out working, and I've just had a blast. And in fact, it's been able to be my first call on American Speed Network, and I got to do it with you, Russ, and that's enjoyable. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, you picked up here tonight, and we're calling races, together now on Thursday nights. It was fun calling that race with you Thursday night, and look forward to this week's too. And yeah, I mean, it's been great having you on and calling these races with you. I look forward to doing it again.
Absolutely. Well, from all of us here at Free Time Racing, we want to say thank you to the race fans for tuning in tonight. What was an absolutely amazing show. To all of our race fans out at American Speed Network, we say thank you. And we will see you right back here next week, where we will crown our champion live from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway.